And we're live. Tom Cassidy, this is the Reasonable Wealth Project, week 11, and this is where it all starts to make sense. This is the importance of the definite vision, the fixity of purpose, the steadiness of faith, and the depth of gratitude. And so this is all about thinking in a certain way and acting in a certain way. And this is actually taken from the last line in the book, the entire book. It says, and the riches that come to you will be in exact proportion to the definiteness of your vision, the fixity of your purpose, the steadiness of your faith, and the depth of your gratitude. So obviously those things are really important. We did a whole week on gratitude itself. We've talked a little bit about the other things in general. The vision we've certainly covered. The faith is kind of implicit in everything. The fact that there is a science of getting rich and that this will work for you. And you're not so special that if you follow the system, it won't work for you. You're probably made of the same stuff as everybody else. And if you follow the system, it'll probably work. Now, if you don't follow the system, it probably won't work. This is the concept this week of following the wheel is more important than inventing the wheel. A lot of people think, well, I know I was born naked and helpless and ignorant, and I had to learn everything myself, and so, you know, I'm going to insist on making my own mistakes, and I'll get to awareness and wisdom and great competence at some point in my life. It may be just a few weeks before I die, or you could say, well, you know what, I'm going to follow the wheel. I'm going to follow what other people have done already and what seems to work. I always come back to the best example of this is Buckminster Fuller, who lived this stuff. Turns out that his auntie, Margaret Fuller, a great aunt actually, worked very closely with Emerson, who is one of the monistic thinkers. They worked on a metaphysical magazine called The Dial in a long time ago, a very long time ago. Look it up. That sort of information I don't have in my head. But he was obviously hugely influenced, and he dedicated a lot of his writings to his great aunt Margaret Fuller, who started talking about this thinking in a certain way and acting in a certain way, and the power of the word and the power of your faith, and then the power of actually taking action. And Buckminster Fuller, without really being expressly saying what he was doing, was totally following all this wisdom. And so if anyone wants to say, well, does it work? You go and, if you're not even interested in looking at Buckminster Fuller or me or any of the people that are getting tremendous results already in the groups, just go to any really wealthy person who's done it in the right way, who's created wealth on the creative plane and not on the competitive plane, so they're not that easy to find, and sit down with them and say, how important is the vision? How important is me having the perfect vision, or having at least a definite vision? They'd probably say it's quite important. What about me actually meaning it and planning to do something about it? You know, actually resolving to take care of it and make sure. Yeah, they'd probably say, yeah, that's probably quite important. Okay, what about believing that it will happen? Believing that I'm good enough, believing that it'll work for me, believing that the secrets will reveal themselves to me. They will yield if I keep just working with the towards my definite vision, and I keep working at it with my fixity purpose. They'll tell you, yeah, probably, the steadiness of the faith is pretty important. And then what about the gratitude? Is gratitude a big deal? Yeah, I think it is. For anyone who's got any kind of success on the creative plane, gratitude is all over their lives. And the depth of the gratitude, you know, if you could be more grateful, would it help you? If you could have a more definite vision, would it help? If you could be a little bit more on purpose, a little bit more resolved, mean it a bit more, would that help you? If you could perhaps be a little bit more steady in your faith, would that help? Well, the beautiful thing is, you're not doing all of those things. I know you're not doing them as much as you might. So think of all that area you can improve. I'm sure, including me, not everyone in the world who's on this program from wherever they are in the world wakes up in the morning and goes, yeah, I'm going to be 100% definite on my vision. I'm not going to have a moment of doubt all day. I'm going to be bang on the purpose. I'm going to be so steady in my faith, and I'm going to be so grateful for everything. No, there's plenty of room for improvement there, isn't there, for everyone? The good thing is you would choose it. You would choose to have these thoughts more present rather than less present. You would choose to have deeper faith, a deeper gratitude, deeper faith as well. You choose to have steadier faith. You choose to be more on purpose, more regularly actually doing more than filling your current place. You would also choose, if you were choosing, you choose to have a more definite vision. So the beautiful thing is you can access it right now. You would choose it, therefore it's you. Your script is getting in the way, and your script will be saying things like, well, you don't really know what you want yet, you haven't quite got the definite vision. And your script will say, well, yeah, you've got the vision, but you're probably not good enough to actually deliver on it. And then it will say things like, well, yeah, you've got the faith, you've got a reasonable amount of faith, reasonable faith, but not probably enough, because you've kind of done a lot of things in the past that didn't work. And this might be just one of them. I know Tom's playing the long game. I know he's an awesome guy, and this is such a great crowd, and the WhatsApp groups are just phenomenal. And I know all that, but you're probably just going to be the exception that proves the rule. And no, you're not. The exception doesn't prove the rule in science. The exception destroys the rule, so you're not going to do it because this is based on science. And then the final thing is gratitude. You would choose to be a little bit more grateful. You could be a bit more grateful. So I'm going to talk about the two chapters we're going to focus on to make sure we are thinking deeply about what in the certain way and acting deeply in the certain way. And guess what they are? Well, they're chapter 8, which is thinking in the certain way, and then chapter 11, which is acting in a certain way. Pretty simple, right? So I'm going to turn on to thinking in a certain way now. I'm just going to pick out the things in chapter 8 where he really talks about the importance of these things. Okay, right, here we go. Right. Well, I'll skip through all of this because it's already quite good. So the point of thinking in a certain way is that it's not enough to just have the desire. It's not enough to have, oh, I'd like to have more money and help people and travel the world and see things. No, it's comes down. If you're trying to get someone to do something for you, to you, with you, whatever, you send them an email. You wouldn't, as Wattle says, you wouldn't basically just say, hey, here's all the letters of the alphabet. Make out what you want from this. You wouldn't even say, here's a bunch of words which are slightly better organized. They're a higher order, a bit more metaphysics. They're organized into meaning. But here you go. Here's a bunch of words. Make them into what you will. Now, you would probably try and choose the right words. And you might even try and choose to put them in an order that made sense. So that is the difference between going from total vagueness and just saying, well, yeah, I want to be rich, I want to be happy, I want to be successful, I want to help people, I want to save the world, change the world, fix the world, all those things, to, this is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this particular area of dealing with mental health or working in education or creating an online grocery business or running a more efficient way to work out how to buy train tickets, whatever, these things. I'm going to do that. That's going to be my contribution. It'll bring greater life to all, and I'm going to make a bunch of money out of it, which I will deserve because I'll have improved so many people's lives. Okay, whatever the point is, it is very clear. Thinking the certain way starts with the definiteness of the vision. But let's skip through that and let's go past that. And let's say, here we go. Spend as much of your leisure time as you can in contemplating your picture. But no one needs to take exercises to concentrate his mind on the thing which he really wants. You don't need to meditate. Right there. You can meditate. Meditation is great. But you do not need to meditate. That voice in your script which says, oh, I'm not very good at meditating. Great, you don't need to. It is the things that you do not really care about which require effort to fix your attention upon them. If you really, really, really want something, it should be easy to think about. If you really, really want it and know that you're doing the universe's work by wanting it and getting it, then it should be easy, right? Right, so here we go. Unless you really want to get rich, so that the desire is strong enough to hold your thoughts directed to the purpose, as the magnetic pole holds the needle of the compass, it will hardly be worthwhile for you to try to carry out the instructions given in this book. The methods herein set forth are for people whose desire for riches is strong enough to overcome mental laziness and the love of ease and make them work. Here we go, blah, 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 blah. Well, it's not really blah, blah, it's very clear. The more clear and definite you make your picture then, and the more you dwell upon it, bringing out all its delightful details, the stronger your desire will be. And the stronger your desire, the easier it will be to hold your mind fixed upon the picture of what you want. So look, what we're trying to do, don't think about it, but just focus on it all the time and remember it, and it's going to be really hard. Think about it in incredible detail, and then the focusing on it in your daily business, the operation with your family, at work, whatever, will be so much easier because you'll have thought about it in such incredible detail, contemplated it. So if we're applying a minimum will system, we've got two approaches. We've got the don't really know what you want and then try and focus on it kind of all the time, or really know what you want and try and focus on it all the time. Which one of those is going to be easier? So this is the thing. What's going to be easier for you to get what you want as a result of thinking about it in incredible detail or thinking about it vaguely? Just like, okay, call it a scale if you like. Will thinking about it more precisely, more definitely make it easier for you? Or harder, right? You know, it's as simple as that. You know, will it be easier to think about it and to maintain it in your mind if it's more definite? Yes, it'll be easier. When I say something, if I say like a cherry red Ferrari Testarossa, whatever, something like that, you're going to think exactly what it is. If I say the exact model and the make, you'll know. If I say a car, what are you going to think about? Okay, I've said enough. Right. Something more is necessary, however, than merely to see the picture clearly. We've done all that in week 2. If that is all you do, you're only a dreamer, and you'll have little or no power for accomplishment. Behind your clear vision must be the purpose to realize it, to bring it out in tangible expression. Behind your clear vision must be the purpose to realize it, to bring it out in tangible expression. The reason you're thinking about it, the reason you're spending time definitely thinking about it to create a definite vision, is because you have a plan to actually make it happen, to bring it out in tangible expression. And behind this purpose must be an invincible and unwavering faith that the thing is already yours, that it is at hand and you only have to take possession of it. You know, that would make it easier. Believing that actually, this is at hand, this is mine, this is me doing the work of the universe by having this. That'd work. Yeah, that'd make it easier. So live in the new house mentally until it takes form around you physically. In the mental realm, enter at once into full enjoyment of the things you want. That is such an important line, and it's skipped over because it doesn't really make that much sense. But let's go over it again. In the mental realm, enter at once, I say now, into full enjoyment of the things that you want. So full enjoyment of the things that you want. Actually enjoy it, and enjoy. One of the most enjoyable things is gratitude for it. So that's the gratitude implicit. Enjoy it. Be grateful for it. Enjoy it. Touch it. Taste it. Smell it. Be in it. Whatsoever things ye ask for when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them, said Jesus. So, you know, see the things that you want as if they were actually around you all the time. See yourself as owning and using them. Make use of them in imagination, metaphysically this is, just as you will use them when they are your tangible possessions. Dwell upon your mental picture until it is clear and distinct, and then take the mental attitude of ownership toward everything in that picture. Take possession of it, in mind, in the full faith that is actually yours. Hold to this mental ownership. Do not waver for an instant in the faith that it is real. So faith is coming in again. And remember what is said in a preceding chapter about gratitude. Be as thankful for it all the time as you expect to be when it has taken form. The man who can sincerely thank God for the things which as yet he owns only in imagination has real faith. He will get rich. He will cause the creation of whatsoever he wants. So this is really big. He's saying all the time. You know, there's more there. Your part is to intelligently formulate your desire for the things which make for a larger life, the more life to all, and to get these desires arranged into a coherent whole, which is a regenerative way of operating, and then to impress this whole desire upon the formless substance, which has the power and the will to bring you what you want. You do not make this impression by repeating strings of words. You make it by holding the vision with unshakable purpose to attain it, and with steadfast faith that you do attain it. And the answer to prayer is not according to your faith while you are talking. You know, everyone can talk a great game. You're a winner, you're a winner, you're a winner, you can do it. It's according to your faith while you're working. You cannot impress the mind of God by having a special Sabbath day set apart to tell him what you want, and then forgetting him during the rest of the week. You cannot impress him by having special hours to go into your closet and pray, if you then dismiss the matter from your mind until the hour of prayer comes again. So basically, it talks about praying without ceasing. And by prayer, I mean holding steadily to your vision, with the purpose to cause its creation into solid form and the faith that you're doing so. So Wattles is basically saying 3/4 of the entirety of what we do is actually prayer. Prayer includes holding steadily to your vision with the purpose to cause its creation into solid form and the faith that you're doing so. So that's 3/4 of what you do, is he calls it prayer. Believe that you receive them. And so the whole matter turns on receiving once you've clearly formed your vision. When you've formed it, it's well to make an oral statement addressing the supreme and reverent prayer. And from that moment, you must, in mind, receive what you ask for. Live in the new house, wear the fine clothes, ride in the automobile, go on the journey, and confidently plan for greater journeys. Right. Imagine an environment and a financial condition exactly as you want them, and live all the time in that imaginary environment and financial condition. Mind, however, that you do not do this as a mere dreamer and a castle builder. Hold to the faith that the imaginary is being realized, and to the purpose to realize it. Remember that it is faith and purpose in the use of imagination which make the difference between the scientist and the dreamer. And having learned this fact, we move on. Now, he talks about the will, because the will in chapter 9 and 10 is absolutely critical, vital. We've done that already to a certain extent. So we're now going to go into the second focus of this week. Remember, we're focusing on definiteness of vision, fixity of purpose, steadiness of faith, and depth of gratitude. So the next thing we're going to be thinking about is acting a certain way, chapter 11. And this is saying, okay, so thinking in a certain way and prayer and all that sort of stuff is fantastic, definiteness of vision. But when we do something about it, how do we do things about it? So this is really quite nice. We've covered this before. So I'm going to just pick up the areas which are particularly relevant to the whole thing. Right. The scientific use of thought consists in forming a clear and distinct mental image of what you want, in holding fast to the purpose to get what you want, and in realizing with grateful faith that you do get what you want. So there's the 3 components of the scientific use of thought. Right. Now, this is interesting. Do not try to project your thought in any mysterious or occult way with the idea of having your thoughts go out and do things for you. That is wasted effort. And you're a limited physical resource, so let's not waste anything. And will weaken your power to think with sanity. So the action of thought in getting rich is fully explained in the preceding chapters. Your faith and purpose positively impress your vision upon formless substance, which has the same desire for more life that you have. You're doing the universe's work by bringing more life to all. Well done. You know, stop. Give yourself a pat on the back. Not everyone does this. Most people don't. So you're like, you know, you're the sort of person that the universe wants to do well. And this vision received from you sets all the creative forces at work in and through their regular channels of action, but directed towards you. So here we go. It is not your part to guide or supervise the creative process. All you have to do with that is to retain your vision, stick to your purpose, and maintain your faith and gratitude. So it's brilliant. Right. And then he talks about the acting in a certain way. You can only get what is yours by giving the other man what is his. This is the crucial point in the science of getting rich, right here, where thought and personal action must be combined. This is chapter 8, chapter 11. There are very many people who consciously or unconsciously set the creative forces in action by their strength and persistence of their desires, but who remain poor because they do not provide for the reception of the thing they want when it comes. By thought, the thing you want is brought to you. By action, you receive it. Okay, and he talks a little bit more about the action. If you act in the present with your mind on the future, your present action will be with a divided mind and it will not be effective. So put your whole mind into present action. Right. And your action, whatever it is, must most likely be in your present business or employment and must be upon the persons and things in your present environment. And so he's saying, really, okay, you can act on the environment in which you're in now, and in such a way as to cause yourself to be transferred to a better environment. And here's how you do it. You hold with faith and purpose the vision of yourself in the better environment, but act upon your present environment with all your heart and with all your strength and with all your mind. Right, so that's pretty much it. I mean, it summarizes it. Hold the vision of yourself in the right business with the purpose to get into it and the faith that you'll get into it and are getting into it, but act in your present business. Use your present business as the means of getting a better one, and use your present environment as the means of getting into a better one. Your vision of the right business, if held with faith and purpose, will cause the Supreme to move the right business towards you. And your action, if performed in a certain way, will cause you to move towards the business. Okay. So, you know, it's kind of pretty much everything, isn't it, really? So at the end of chapter 11, Wattle sums it up quite nicely, and he talks about this. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which in its original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the interspaces of the universe. A thought in this substance produces a thing that is imaged by the thought. Man can form in his thought, man can form things in his thought, and by impressing his thought upon formless substance can cause the thing he thinks about to be created. And here we go. In order to do this, man must pass from the competitive to the creative mind. He must form a clear mental picture of the things he wants and hold this picture in his thoughts with a fixed purpose to get what he wants, and with the unwavering faith that he does get what he wants, closing his mind to all that may tend to shake his purpose, dim his vision, or quench his faith. Right. Exciting stuff. So let's go back to here you are. This has been great. I've got a few minutes. I'm going to take a couple of questions if there are any. You know, this stuff is really clear. By now you all know what to do. You all know that you would choose to do more of it rather than less. You would choose to make your work easier. You would choose to notice the script more if you could. It's the only thing is, well, there's two things. There's time and there's your script. You know, just being out of your script won't give you the results. It'll give you metaphysical awareness instantly, which is kind of, in a way, the ultimate result anyway. But it won't give you the tangible results, because the things that you will create tangibly will come through the existing channels. So you've got to allow time as well. So you've got, literally, you will get your everythingness awareness times time. Those two things. But it's not because that will be enough in itself, but having the awareness will direct you, if you follow this program, into those four areas. A more definite vision, a slightly more meaningful purpose, you know, a meaningful as in a resolve, a greater fixity of purpose, a slightly steadier faith, and a deeper gratitude. So if we have any questions, I'll take them, but if not, that'll be great, because then I can set up for the Argentina match. Looking forward to seeing Lionel Messi play. If we have any questions, so there's a few people on the call, so let me know. You've got about 10 seconds to type in a question. If it appears, great. If not, even better. I will see you in the chat rooms. I will be on the communities anytime. Don't forget, by the way, I know a lot of you have taken advantage of this, but I'm a really generous guy with my time. Take advantage of it. It may not always be like this, that I'm able to do one-on-ones with everybody just all the time. So, and I'm not even trying to say scarcity, it's just that I might decide in the future to do less of this stuff. So if you've got a question in your head, oh, it would be nice to explore this with particular relation to my business, by all means hit me up and we'll do a one-on-one. Okay, fantastic. It's been a wonderful session. I just love this stuff. You know, you can probably tell, but I just really do. This is super regenerative for me. Yeah. I mean, this is more fun than watching football, really. It's just that I kind of like the liveness, the energy, the whole world focusing on this kind of event. It's interesting, actually, because I'm re-evaluating things. Yes, I love football, but it's essentially quite frivolous, isn't it? So it's amazing that we can have so much energy invested into something which is pretty frivolous. But then it's reasonable wealth. You know, does football bring more life to all? Probably not. No, not really. Is it something that's going to be around forever? Probably not, actually, in its current form. But you know, I still like it, and We're human. We're in the human form after all, right? As you will notice, a little bit more mess on the sofa. It was tidied up perfectly a couple of weeks ago, but a couple of things have creeped down there. And this is kind of a bit of fun. This is my Father's Day present. I'll show you this. You love this. You won't be able to see it that clearly, but this is something that Cindy got for me, and it's an enormous kind of spread of all the sort of family pictures, and you probably can't see because of the light, but there's a bunch of pictures of the kids and stuff. Isn't it great? What a great present. Let's see if I can do it. Yeah, you might be able to see a tiny bit better there. Look at that picture of her. Wow, what a cheeky little bugger he is. Okay, that's me done. Have a wonderful week. See you in the chat rooms of the world. Take care. Cheers and bye.